and held it up. I smiled for the camera. "This going on Instagram," he said. I smiled and giggled. "I am really feeling Demarco. Should I tell him?" "I don't know. What you thinking about Ma?" he asked, disturbing my thoughts. "Oh, nothing. Just things," I said. "Oh, well, I got some to tell you," he said. I got eager. "What?" I asked. He looked nervous. I leaned in. He looked down at the floor. "Babe?" I said. I mean, these last few weeks with you been real special to me," he said. I smiled. "I feel the same way," I said. He smiled but still looked nervous. "Look," he said, digging into his pocket. He pulled out a black box with a red bow on it. My eyes widen. "What's going on?" I asked. He still looked nervous. He didn't say anything. "Demarco. Spit it out," I said. "Shit, look, I like you a lot. I want to be with you, it. I don't want you with no other nigger, and I know you don't want me with no other girls, so let's make this official," he said. I smiled. I didn't say a word. He opened the box showing a gold Michael Kors watch. I gasped. "Baby. Is that for me?" I asked, excited. "Only if you agree to be my girl," he said, laughing nervously. I smiled. "Of course I'ma be your girl. I love you," I said. I felt ashamed by saying it first. I looked up to see him smiling. "I love you too, girl," he said. Comment, vote, share and fan. 4. Wait. What are you scared of again? Kaienne POV. We bust through the door of his house kissing and hugging. He started to kiss my neck. Demarco, I love it," I said, holding his head in my neck as he kissed it. He picked me up and dropped me down on the couch. He slid his shirt off quickly. I stood up and slid off my dress. I sat on top of him, kissing him passionately. Our tongues wrestled and it was getting hot. I bit his bottom lips. His hands rubbed my lower back. He unlatched my bra and slid it off. He kissed my boobs, making me shiver. He kissed and licked my boy up and down. He slid my panties off, exposing my treasure box. He kissed it. I moaned. He smiled. "You like it when I do this, huh?" he said. I giggled. He parted my lips and stuck his tongue inside of me. "Oh gosh," I said, arching my back. I bit down on my lip. He started to go wild inside of me. Ooh, yes," I yelled out. He stopped and our faces met. We kissed. He went inside of me. "He is so big, but I'd take it." I moaned and bit down on my finger. He flipped me over and bent me over. He was hitting me from the back. Yes, yes, yes," I yelled out. "Tell me you love this," he yelled out. "I love it. I fucking love it," I yelled out. Say my name. Say my name," he yelled out. Demarco. Demarco," I yelled out. After sex, we fell asleep on the couch, relaxing. I woke up to the smell of food. I walked in the kitchen to see Demarco cooking. "Hey sleepyhead," he said to me, smiling with a spatula in his hands. I smiled. "What you cooking?" I asked. "Some eggs," he said. "Ew, can you even cook?" I joked. "What?" "Yeah, I can cook. I'm Chef Boyardee in this bitch," he said. I giggled. "Well, Chef Boyardee, your eggs are on fire," I said, pointing to the stove. "What?" he asked, squinting his eyes. I pointed to the stove again. He turned around to see the eggs on fire in the pan. "Oh shit," he said. He grabbed a towel and grabbed the handle of the pan and moved it to the sink. He started to beat the fire with the towel, putting it out. I stood there laughing hysterically at him. He looked shocked. "Stop laughin', man," he said, smiling. I held my stomach and fell to the floor laughing. "Nigger, what did you have the fire on? 10,000? I joked. He sighed. I'm never going to hear the end of this, am I? He asked. I shook my head no. Whatever, man, let's go to Waffle House. A nigger hungry, he said. We sat in the Waffle House talking. He is so funny. I couldn't stop laughing. You are so silly, I said laughing. He stopped laughing. I could tell he wanted to get serious. What's wrong? I asked. I just wanna tell you some, he said looking nervous again. I smiled. What is it? I asked. Our waitress brought us our food. What is it, babe? I asked again. You remember when you asked me? What was I scared of? He said. I nodded. Yeah, I remember. You told me you wasn't scared of nothing, I said. Well, that was then. Now, I'm scared of something, he said. I giggled. What is that? I asked. I'm scared of losing you, he said. Please vote and comment. 5. Baby mama, I'm tired of you. Kaienne POV. Whoa, wait, really? I asked, shocked by what he just said. He wouldn't look at me. I grabbed his chin and moved his face up. I looked in his dark brown eyes. You really mean, babe? Like you really mean it? I asked. Yeah, I mean it. I've told you shit and you never judged me for it. I love you, girl, like no other, he said. I smiled and melted on the inside. Babe, to be honest, I feel the same way. You mean a lot to me. I'm so happy you're my boyfriend, I admitted. Babe, it's serious now. We are getting pretty serious now. No lies. Promise me, he said. Aight, babe, no lies, I promise, I said. We stood up in the booth and kissed. We ate and went home. Demarco's 18th birthday is today. I have something planned. I don't know how he will react to this. Hopefully he would be happy because it took me 2 weeks to get this set up perfectly. Okay, get the door for me please, I said to her walking into his house. She opened the door for me. I walked in the house and sat the cake I ordered for Demarco and the gift I bought for him down on the coffee table near the couch. Okay, you can have a seat there. He should be here in any second, I said to my mystery guest. She nodded. I heard him pull up. Okay, there he is, I said, running outside with a blindfold. I want all this to be a surprise. He smiled when he seen me. Hey baby, I said, running in his arms. He smiled and hugged me. Happy birthday, I said. Thanks, babe. He said. All right, now put this on, I said, handing him the blindfold. He looked confused. What? I have a surprise for you. Now do what I say, I said, bossing him around. He put the blindfold on and I let him in the house. I looked over to my mystery guest and nodded. She stood up and smiled. All right, babe. 1, 2, 3, I said, snatching the blindfold off. His mouth dropped when he seen my guest. Hey baby, she said, smiling nervously. Mama? He asked. She nodded. It's been a while, she said. It has. It's been 4 years, he responded, stuffing his hands into his pockets. She held her arms out. Come here, baby, she said. He walked over to her and they hugged. I seen a tear slip from his eye. I smiled and cried too. This was such a wonderful, heartwarming moment. They parted and laughed at each other for crying. Wow, he said, wiping his eyes. She laughed. Baby, you did a good job with picking her. Tanisha said. Demarco's mother. Demarco nodded. I know I did. I love her, he said, walking over to me and putting his arm around my waist. I smiled. I bought you a cake and a gift, I said, pointing to the table. He walked over to the table and opened the gift. It was the new Jordans, baby. Thanks so much. I'll have to pay you back, he said. What? No, it's a gift. You do not have to pay me back. I said. You know I like you spending money on me, he said. So, it's your birthday and I wanted you to enjoy your day, I said. He smiled. Okay, I'm about to walk home to get something. I'll be back, I said, heading for the door. You walkin'? DeMarco asked. I nodded. Nah, here, take Ginger, he said, reaching in his pocket and throwing me the car keys. I smiled and walked out the door. I hopped in Ginger and drove my house. I noticed my mother's car wasn't in the driveway. I haven't been home in about 3 weeks. I guess I live with DeMarco now. I unlocked the door and went inside. Who that is? I heard a voice say, Mom? I asked, confused. I walked into the kitchen to see her sitting at the table drinking a dark liquor. I didn't see your car outside, I said. Where the fuck you been? She asked sternly. Out, I said. She stood up slowly from the table. You been out there hoeing around. Lisa from down the street said she seen you with that thug that be hanging around, she said. You don't know him, I yelled. I know he up to no good. I know that, she said. Like I said, you don't know him. You and Lisa can mind your own business, I yelled. You my child, you are my business, she said. Since when did you start giving a fuck? I asked. Excuse me, Kaienne, have you lost your damn mind? She yelled. I rolled my eyes. You've been around that nigger too long, he corrupting your mind. She said. Leave me alone. You don't know shit about him, I yelled. As long as you living with me, you are not to see him, do you understand? She yelled. I don't have to live here, I said, running upstairs. She ran behind me. Oh really? Where you gon' go, huh? She asked. I grabbed a few things. Don't worry about me, I said, running down the stairs outside. She followed me again. Kaienne, you get out that car right now, she said. No. You are never here for me. We barely talk and now you just go stand there and try to be a mother. All of a sudden, well, I ain't having it. Don't worry about me, I said before driving off. I did 80 all the way back to DeMarco's house. I walked in to see him on the couch chilling. Where Tanisha? I asked. She gone. She invited us to her church this weekend, he said. I sat down. Oh, sounds cool, I said. What's wrong? He asked. I told him about what had went down between me and my mother. Maine, you can live with me, you don't ever have to go back, he said. I laid my head on his chest. Thanks, baby, I said. He rubbed a side of my face until I fell asleep. The next day, we sat in Ginger, eating chicken wings and jammin' Boosie. This my song, I said when Set It Off came on. We started dancing and laughing. He turned down the music. Wanna do something crazy? He asked. Crazy? What's crazy? I asked. Let's go get tattoos, he said. I laughed. That's not too crazy, I said, rolling my eyes. I wanted to be daring. Get my name tattooed